Michael Jordan is a legend who needs no introduction. But what if I told you that at the peak of his career, right after winning his second NBA championship, he walked away from it all and went to pursue a childhood dream? And not only that, but he also happened to be really, really bad at said dream. I mean, shockingly bad. In 1993, Jordan led the Chicago Bulls to their third straight NBA championship and then promptly retired to play baseball. How could the greatest player in the world just walk away from the game? And how could he have been so bad at baseball? In 1994, Jordan played for the Birmingham Barons, a Double-A affiliate of the Chicago White Sox. He hit just 2 home runs in 127 games, while striking out an astonishing 114 times. His final stat line, a measly 202 batting average. To put into perspective, the average MLB player hit around 250 back then. So Jordan was 25% worse than the average major leaguer. But here's the thing, though. It turns out that Jordan was actually pretty good at baseball for someone who started at age 30, had very limited experience, and was playing professional baseball. At least that's what the numbers say. So was Michael Jordan truly terrible at baseball, or was there more to the story? Let's rewind to 1993, right after Jordan won his second NBA championship. For the first time in his life, he had nothing to do. His entire identity up until that point had been defined by basketball. He was an All-American, a #1 draft pick, a champion, and now arguably the greatest player in the world. But with that status came a crushing burden. Everywhere he went, he was recognized. People wanted something from him. There was no room for anonymity or privacy. Then tragedy struck. In July of 1993, Jordan's father, James Jordan, was murdered during a robbery. Devastated and broken, Jordan retreated from public life. But as he tried to cope with his grief, rumors started swirling that Jordan was secretly suspended by the NBA for gambling. Now, normally, we would just chalk this up to classic Jordan conspiracy stuff. But given the context of the time, it makes sense why many people believed it back then. America in the 90s was a very different place. The country was obsessed with the burgeoning crack epidemic, the AIDS crisis, and the recently concluded Gulf War. Any hope for unity was dashed by the Rodney King riots in 1992. So when Michael Jordan, arguably the biggest sports star in the world, suddenly disappeared from public view, people were scared. They needed an explanation, and boy, did the media give them one. All of a sudden, everyone was talking about Jordan's gambling problems. Tabloids claimed that he'd lost millions. Magazines ran covers asking him to come clean. Everyone from talk show hosts to religious leaders weighed in on the supposed scandal. In hindsight, it's obvious that none of it was true. But at the time, it looked very real. So real, in fact, that Jordan decided to take a break from basketball and pursue his other love, baseball. For Jordan, baseball was never about money or fame. It was his father's dream to play in the big leagues. And James Jordan sacrificed everything to make sure his son got that opportunity. He pushed Michael to play baseball year-round. He drove him to practice every day, and he made sure that Michael was always the best prepared player on any team he joined. So when Michael decided to follow his father's footsteps, it wasn't about running away from basketball. It was about honoring his father. Of course, Jordan could have easily skipped the minor leagues and gone straight to the majors, but that wasn't his style. Like his father before him, Jordan chose the hard road. He started in Double-A and worked his way up. He wanted to earn it. He played for the Birmingham Barons, a Double-A affiliate of the Chicago White Sox, and it was a humbling experience. He was just one of the guys, albeit a very famous one. He made only $850 a month, rode the bus with the team, stayed in crappy motels, and played in small stadiums with low-level prospects. Oh, except for one thing, Jordan didn't ride the regular bus. The team's aging bus, nicknamed the Jordan Cruiser, was upgraded to a luxury coach thanks to Gatorade's sponsorship. Despite the difference in pay, Jordan never complained, and he worked harder than anyone else. He was the first person to arrive at the ballpark and the last to leave. He took extra batting practice every day, and he never ever struck out during BP. He was so determined to make it to the majors that he played winter ball in the off-season. Despite being a global superstar, Jordan showed up to spring training in 1994 overweight and out of shape. It was clear that he was a raw minor leaguer who had a lot of work to do. Over time, Jordan's hard work started paying off. He had moments of brilliance, like when he hit a home run in his first game, then followed it up with a 13-game hitting streak. During that streak, he hit .327, which was almost twice his final average for the season, and who could forget his emotional home run on July 30th, 1994. In front of the entire country on national TV, Jordan homered on the first pitch he saw. He rounded the bases with a stoic expression, but he couldn't hold back tears as he crossed home plate and was mobbed by his teammates. That moment perfectly captured Jordan's baseball journey, a mix of stoicism, pain, and determination. But those highs were often followed by crushing lows. Most notably, Jordan struck out an astonishing 114 times. He chased pitches way outside the strike zone, and he had no idea what he was doing at the plate. But the biggest problem was that Jordan was unbalanced in his swing. He was too tall to have proper form, and his weight shifted too far forward, which caused him to be off balance and overextend. Statistically, very few hitters over 6'6" have ever succeeded in MLB. So Jordan was already fighting an uphill battle. So could he have made it to the majors? Well, he certainly had the work ethic, but his timing was unfortunate. The 1994-95 MLB strike ended his baseball journey prematurely, but not before impressing many people in the organization. Manager Terry Francona and hitting coach Mike Barnett believed that with 3 more years and 1,500 more at-bats, Jordan could have made it. That assessment seems accurate when you look at his minor league stats, but it's also true that most prospects don't reach the majors in that time frame. So, Jordan's progress was both impressive and normal at the same time. While Jordan was raking in the minors, the media was having a field day. Sports Illustrated begged him to quit. ESPN sent reporters to follow him around, document his journey. Other publications wrote articles predicting his inevitable failure. But people weren't making fun of him because they were bored. They were curious. They wanted to see if he could do it. And they flocked to stadiums to see the man who was supposedly terrible at baseball. It was a spectacle. To this day, no other minor league player has ever generated this kind of cultural buzz. Jordan brought national TV cameras to minor league stadiums. He sold out entire seasons' worth of tickets in a single day. And he single-handedly made the Barons one of the most profitable minor league teams in history. In fact, Jordan's presence generated so much commercial interest that the White Sox created a whole new marketing division just to handle all the calls and inquiries. So despite his on-field shortcomings, Jordan was a huge success story. But was it a failure? On paper, his 202 average certainly looks like a failure. But beyond the stats, Jordan's leadership, humility, and resilience stood out. Baseball gave him purpose. It forced him to improve, and it ultimately sharpened his focus, which fueled his legendary NBA comeback and the second three-peat. In the end, Michael Jordan's baseball journey wasn't about stats or trophies. It was about chasing a dream and conquering himself. Maybe he never conquered baseball, but baseball helped him conquer himself. Thanks for watching.